just so you know, pro, I know means, I think it means um, forward or um, in front of or something like that. And then crastinate means tomorrow.
Interesting.
In other
But
words, mañana.
no,
The
I love
same
that.
Spanish word as mañana.
So, but in this, are we on this chapter? Is this the one that we're, because I got so far ahead if we are, I thought we were finishing the book today.
Well, well, we are, but, and, book just goes to the seventh cure, which is have the rest of the chapters. I've got 7 chapters in the book. And
Yeah, Doug, you're really not with
now
us,
my
at least for
internet
me.
is
Mm-mm.
your internet. Yeah. Doggone it. Yeah.
Do you have a hotspot?
So we're on earn your income.
This is with the hotspot.
This is with the hotspot. So anyway,
And we came here to work.
it's the seventh cure today. Earn your earn your.
Can you put it in the chat? I will say one of the things that from that chapter, the seventh cure, increase thy ability to earn.
See me? I think I'm going to go back to my phone. I'm on my laptop.
I can see you now. Now I can see you
Okay.
twice.
So I can see you. I see hearing twice.
Yeah, okay.
So we're on the seventh cure, the increase your ability to earn.
Well, I don't know if can y'all hear me? Okay. So what I
Yes.
really highlighted through this section, preceding accomplishment must be desire. Thy desires must be strong and definite. So the things that were very specific to me, general desires are but weak longings. The general desire is a weak longing. It's a longing. Is it a true desire? Is it really a goal? And then this is the process by which wealth is accumulated, first in small sums, then in larger ones, as a man learns and becomes more capable. Desires must be simple and definite. They defeat their own purpose should they be too many, too confusing, or beyond a man's training to accomplish. And like, I totally got that whole lottery mentality. And I feel like most of my life personally has been do not despise the day of small beginnings, because I feel like I'm always starting over, always reinventing, always getting up to speed, moving into trend, getting ahead, And so as I look at that, they defeat their own purpose should they be too many, too confusing, or beyond a man's training to accomplish.
Yeah, this chapter was great. I really read it. I really was like, wow, this is an interesting perspective. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't grow up, with these principles.
Yeah.
And I read this book, like a million years ago.
Yeah.
And my husband and I were talking about it, and I'm like, babe, like, how many times have you read this? And how many times have you really applied these principles? Because it is, this is like more generational wealth stuff than the new money. Because in business, you can tell a very significant difference, even in your neighbors or people that you can tell very significant difference from generational wealth and new money. And this is old world generational wealth building principles.
Yeah. There, which is so right. Like, I don't, I've been told to think like that before, but I don't typically. So until EXP, I've been turning like a lot of things around. So I totally get that, and I'm so inspired to be doing that, to work on that. So yeah, I get that. I also found it interesting, Munch's man's, how they talked about good luck as a woman, and then also they said, well, on mine it is page 67. It says, our God smiled indulgently at the banter. What reason have we to feel the good goddess would take that much interest in a man's bet upon a horse race? Like, why would we, like, your odds are against you. Why would you even think about, you know, making generational wealth off a horse race when, your hard work, it says later in there, your hard work is what gets you where you need to be.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, and it says if he persists. So.
No, keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say, so then later in the next paragraph, it says, I underlined, yet if he persists, he may usually expect to realize his profit, which is what I was saying. So yeah, so hard work pays off, if you continue in real estate and you're doing all the right things, et cetera, then, you're going to succeed. Like if you do all the things that, you're offered and this and that and the other thing, whatever best, all the different things, and then choose the best thing for you. And then, everything should work out. So
Yeah.
I thought that was good too. There were so many in here.
Yeah, on page 67, I don't know if that's still the seventh cure. Hey, Doug, can you hear?
No, I think I'm kind of going all around. I was in Meet the Goddess of Good Luck.
Doug, you're
Yes, I can
muted.
hear you.
You're muted.
No,
There
okay.
you are.
I can hear you. I can hear you now. I can hear
We
you.
kind of skipped over to page 67, which I love because I feel like that's sort of where, some of the previous information that I shared about, sorry, I'm flipping back, desires have to be simple and definite. It says, if I'm on the same page as you, Carrie, we live in a different age, my father. I shall avoid thy mistakes. And he says, opportunity stands before thee, my son. It is offering a chance that may lead to wealth. I beg of thee, do not delay. Go upon the morrow. This is where you started, if I'm not mistaken. Go
Yes.
upon the morrow to the son of my friend and bargain with him to pay 10%. Well, I love it. Opportunity waits for no man. Today is here, soon it is gone. Therefore, do not delay. In spite of the advice of my father, I did hesitate. So as they're recounting their missed fortunes and their missed opportunities, I think that is drawing, as you said, kind of this mastermind. They're drawing on each other's experience. They're not necessarily lamenting. They're sharing the knowledge, just like when what was his name? The first one started, and he said his first time he saved his year of wages, his 10%, and he gave it to the brick man. And,
Yes.
So instead of living in the past, they're recounting and learning and drawing on each other's knowledge and experience to sow that into the future generations and to sow that into each other. And I think that's what generational wealth is. Part of that wealth is knowledge. Part of that wealth is a mindset.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved reading that part because, like I said, I felt like that was that's what we do, and it was in such it was really cool. I just thought that was so neat, right? That they were doing the exact same thing and taking that as the knowledge that that this is what we learned from. These are the rich men, and these are their experience. I thought that was cool because we talk about this all the time. That's exactly what we do. And I just really liked that. I liked this whole thing. I was really, there's a lot of green in my,
Me, me
a
too.
lot of green in here.
I noticed Erica unmuted. Erica, can you share? Have you read?
Um, I read a little bit, so I'm just jumping back into the book club. Um, I had an opportunity to when I first started the book club like 2 months ago, I was unemployed. Then I got employed because I'm working my way back. And but after what hearing how you just explained what you just expressed, Cheryl. So most of my life, what I've done is I've chosen most of my experiences. I've educated myself. I've done a lot of self development, and I've shared a lot of my knowledge, and I've watched and helped a lot of people grow. And I just recently did that within my family, um, and with a plumbing company, and was pretty successful. And watched watched it grow for 2.5 years to watch it not work in my favor. So the generational wealth within the family that I was um, hoping on, I did not really express what I was looking for in the beginning, only because I didn't know what I was gonna assist in creating. But when I saw I created a company that provides and that generates money, at when I was the whole 2.5 years, I kept saying, we're gonna make this right, because I know it takes about 3 years before you get a good sense what a company is gonna do. And once I got to the 2.5 year mark, when I really saw my family members position, now I saw, like, oh, this isn't gonna, they don't want me in this. They only needed my assistance. So this has been recovering, trying to build back, because I give more than I receive. I give more than I take. I don't take. So this book is a little like, and it's reminding me, like, I have to put self first. I have to put my mask on first before I put masks, like in an airplane, before you put a mask on someone else. So so listening to this, it's like, rem- I don't know if it's reminding me. I mean, I don't know. I choose experience over money. I'll be honest with you. Single, married, no children. I love, I like to float around, and I just learn, share, share, share. However, I can't keep doing that, because this year showed me, after running through all my savings, um,
You're
that
just reinventing yourself, right?
completely
Like,
reinventing, um, and completely like any and all my savings that I now build will last me longer than
right.
what they did. So it's a whole new, everything that I've learned. I'm not starting back at zero. I don't believe in that. I know I didn't fail. I have just tons of information and not knowledge that I'm setting up my new routines, is what I've been working on. And so I have like a little bit of a lot of things, and I'm just trying to, I'm big on compartmentalizing. That's why I'm very successful. I'm very good at strategy. I, so, ex- and I have,
Can I?
all of this has been because I'm extremely faith driven. That's that's my currency. My currency is faith. That's why when this happened,
Can you?
I figured it's a beast thing. Just keep moving forward. So that's what I'm getting
So
out of all this.
yeah. So just to tie all that together, I think so she was taking her, it sounds like she was, investing in something like this guy did, like the kid did, right? He had the opportunity, she took it. And then after a while, she realized it really wasn't benefiting her. So she wound up getting out of there and starting her own legacy, right? So now she's in the process of starting to build her own wealth and her own legacy to whoever or whatever she chooses. So does that sound right, Erica?
That's where I'm at.
What I love about that
Can you
is you
hear
already
me? Can you hear
know
me?
you're not starting over, right? You're not starting from the
Yeah.
beginning, you're starting from experience. And
Yes.
so you've got, lots of knowledge to build from. And then by looking at that, I think that's where we are in this conversation around on page 67. I don't even know the name of this little section, but what I love around this is meet the goddess of good luck. It sounds like, and I'm not the goddess, I'm not looking to the goddess. I have a faith driven life too. And, but we can use whatever term we need to use that you have sown. And so as you've sown into others, and you have a heart of service and giving, and your currency is, experience, giving, that sort of thing. What I love about that is that at some point, as you focus, you're going to see the seed that you've sown fall into the good ground that's fertile, that grows up so quickly. And I relate that to a story in a book written by Mahesh Chavda. I believe it was The 100-Year Bloom. And I'd encourage you to look at that because this very rare flower bloomed after 100 years, in a desert where it was next to impossible. And so you look at the parable of the sower, and some of the seed that they sowed, rose up real quickly and then it died off. And some of it fell on hard ground and didn't rise up. But then there's other seeds, other types of soil. And so I believe that what we were just talking about, being single purposed or not having so much desire in too many places, that when we put it into a certain place, we can still sow into other people. And as we're raising them up, that's where our wealth, our legacy, and our fortune come from. So I think you're on the right track.
I'm going to look into that book, and I thank you, Doug, for your comments. I'm going to look into that as well. I'm really grateful when Carrie reached out to me when I first started before I got employed. And when we spoke and I joined the book club, the first thing I knew I had to do was find a secure job. And I removed myself from the construction industry and got hired to be a school bus driver, which was really random. And I just passed my state exam. And now I can focus back on the book club. It took a lot to learn and train to do a bus, ride a 40-foot bus. So I'm excited to come back, excited I passed the exam, excited I can work with, professionals like you, and the support that I'm getting from today from your advice is really going to help me. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Baby steps. You're in the beginning. Whoop, whoop, bye-bye.
Yes. Building back.
Yes.
I feel like that's what we are. I feel like my philosophy right now, one of our themes, our biggest theme actually for next year. Yes, thank you. In the chat, you guys. So yeah, I think my personal theme is come alive in 2025, but it's personal professional leadership. Erica, you've got leadership tendencies, your strengths, looks like you're building on your strengths rather than shoring up your weaknesses. Back in the day when I started working, it was all about, women should do this and these were the roles for them. And I didn't fit an office mold. I didn't type fast enough. I wasn't interested in saying yes to somebody else all the time. I mean, I was just out there, I learned to sell from somebody that was so shy I couldn't talk to a stranger to selling. And the principles really come from the heart. I don't, I'd always be confused when somebody'd say you can sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm like, well, did
Me
they
too.
need ice? Because it was all about hearing what their need was and helping them achieve a goal. And that's all it is coming from the heart, not having commission breath, and recognizing that when you help enough people succeed, you're going to exceed at the highest levels. And I love that, and I think that's what this mastermind does for me as I'm around like-minded people. And no matter where we are, whether we're at the pinnacle or whether we're reinventing, because the world isn't static, business
Yeah.
isn't static, we're not static. We're either growing and excelling, or we're reinventing or relearning or retrending or whatever the words are. So, that is mine. I'm closing the door on 2024. I'm journaling my lessons and all of the valuable things that I learned in 24 and how I could improve and what I'm taking with me into 25. And I think that's where we are. Come alive in 25, be the best version of you. And we're so far beyond our time, y'all. Like,
I,
Oh, that was great. Come alive in 25. Like you need to put that on like your Facebook cover page. Oh my
okay, well, that is my theme for the year, and that's our theme
Yeah,
in
that's what you should.
teaching, and that, yeah.
it's a
But it
great
is,
theme.
but it's not just like, see, people can take it out of context or whatever context they need, but it's personal, professional, and leadership. Erica shared with us all the things that she sewed into people.
Yes.
I did the same thing. I've worked for family. I've been in partnerships and business with family for decades. Uh, and it's never always been to my own advantage, except for what I take with me into the next phase of my life. And so we are leaders, every single one of us,
Yes.
whether we know it or not, whether we recognize anything leadership in us, we are going to sow into the people, whether it's the clerk at the grocery store or the person worshiping next to us at church or whatever it is. We are sowing into people with our attitude, our atmosphere, which I call frequency, which is massive, our joy, whatever it is, we're sowing into people. And so whether we can see ourselves as leaders or not, we are beyond leaders, and we're either sowing positive or we're sowing, life or death, period.